This means that there is a potential that you could make 1 million UEC over the course of a little more than 2 hours, and you don't even need a vulture. 07 Star Citizens. 319 brought along with it a brand new way to make UEC with the salvage contracts. These missions included both legal and illegal contracts, sending you to the corners of Stanton to hull strip derelict vessels. But there was also an extra section added to this with cargo. Every now and then, some of the larger cargo derelicts would have leftover cargo within them. However, the difference in the worth of that cargo was drastic. Sometimes you would find a couple of SCU of titanium, which isn't even worth putting in your hold. Other times, you would find Ohesian hides, maize, and weaver legs. And having a big haul like that could get you upwards of 250k UEC. Well, with a very few simple changes in 319.1, which just went live today, this cargo has become incredibly valuable and very consistent. So today, let's go over those changes and get you all some incredibly easy money. Oh, and you don't even need a vulture. To start off with, what missions should you actually choose? With 319.1, every ship that has a cargo hold will have a guaranteed cargo in it. It also seems that the rarer materials are found more consistently in the more expensive contracts. So be on the lookout for contracts with Freelancer Max, Hammerhead, Starfarer, Caterpillar, Constellation, and Cutlass Black as your priorities. Interestingly, the Freelancer Dur has a cargo hold. However, every time I went and did a mission for that, there was no cargo in them. So they may be either bugged or they just don't have it programmed for them to have cargo in them. Also within these, once you do get the opportunity, I would prioritize Caterpillar, Freelancer, Hammerhead. At the very least, it is much easier to move the cargo from within them. Secondly, before accepting these missions, consider taking the personal tab missions. These ones are cheaper to buy, but have a time limit before you inevitably end up committing a crime. You will still tend to profit if you take the non-illegal missions, but if you get unlucky, it's definitely worth that extra 20,000 UEC so that you aren't losing out on way more profit. Now that you have your contract, all you need to do is travel to the locations with a vehicle with a semi-decent amount of cargo. If you're looking to go continuously for an hour or so, I would recommend you bring with yourself a hold of at least 24 SCU. As you can chain these missions very quickly together, if you aren't spending time stripping the hulls, you will need the cargo space. From my testing, it seems that on average, or the vast majority of the time, the vehicles are going to have about 4 SCU worth of cargo, so keep that in mind before you accept the next mission. Now, some of you may have heard that in 319.1, some things like Ohesian hides were removed from the pool, and so you can't make as much UEC. That's not really the case though, because now we have consistent cargo. So every single wreck you go to is going to have a decent amount of cargo. The big ones that we're going to be looking out for here are maize and quantanium. However, there are other illicit cargo as well as some mining minerals that you can find as well. Now, what can you actually make here from just taking cargo? Well, let's take a look at what I was able to do today in about 25 minutes and seemed to be pretty consistent over the course of my testing. Keep in mind, this run, I was using a vulture, however, I wasn't hull stripping. The first wreck I went to was an illegal, risky hammerhead salvage job. This cost 30,000 UEC to obtain, and upon arrival, I scanned 1 SCU of each maize, quantanium, slam, and widow. It took me less than 5 minutes to move it all from the cargo hold into the ship before I inevitably took another mission. This time, I took a legal hammerhead mission, which cost 50,000 UEC, 20,000 more than the illegal. Once again, I arrived and scanned 1 SCU of each Bexlite, gold, quantanium, and taranite. Then I moved on to my third mission. This time, I took a risky Starfarer salvage job, which once again cost 30,000 UEC. Unfortunately, the scanner wasn't working. However, after taking these boxes to sale, I was able to figure out that I had gotten 1 SCU of each widow, maize, quantanium, and beryl. Before I get to the net profit of what we received, this quick 25-minute run is a great example of why you want to prioritize the illegal missions over the legal ones. If you aren't hull stripping, you don't need that extra time. So that 30-minute timer is plenty of time for you to arrive, grab 4 boxes, and leave. Also, in addition, I didn't grab any guns here either. And it is probably worth it if you have the time in the cargo space to grab the guns from the Hammerhead as well as the cannons from the Starfarer, as these are actually worth a little bit. So with a total cost of 110,000 UEC for these contracts, I managed to get roughly 323,000 UEC for a profit of 222,000 UEC in roughly 25 minutes, not including the sell time. This means that there is a potential that you could make 1 million UEC over the course of a little more than 2 hours, if you're a little lucky. Now, results may vary from side to side, but from all of the testing that I did today, this type of run seems like it's going to be very typical, as long as you are prioritizing those hammerheads, starfarers, and caterpillars. That doesn't mean you can't get good money from the smaller contracts. I did have one run where I was able to get a single unit of maize from a freelancer max, so there is still profit to be had there. It just feels like the more consistent money is coming from these more expensive contracts, because the fact that they're a little bit cheaper is going to net you that extra profit. But let me know in the comments below what your best haul so far is with Salvage, or after watching this video, go do some Salvage and let me know. How much money are you able to make at the moment? That's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you make a ton of UEC in 3.19.1. I hope you also enjoy Alien Week. If you did find the video useful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to see more Star Citizen content, and hit the notification bell to know every single time I release a new video. And if you want to join me live for some group salvage operations or some group PvP or anything of the like, come watch me over at twitch.tv/Croncierge. I'm there most days during the week, and we're always open crew, so we can give you a hand. See you guys in the verse.
We did see Commander Tenna with Sable Raven making an approach. So Gentleman Jed says, Pit Viper advised to not complete the lap backwards. Don't listen to Croncierge. Good call out there. Good call out. Don't try and do the lap backwards. I think you turn the Reclaimer and try and do that backwards. You do deserve a medal, but it will be kind of rough.